today we are going to do a little flight and see what we think. So, it's not going to be a blind fight. We know what we poured. We kind of talked about it ahead of time, mainly because we had to find two bottles that we shared that matched the bottle we're interested in, which is the beginning of the year. You probably way overspent. You might be on a bourbon freeze like I am at my house. Not allowed to buy new
Is that
bottles.
because it's so cold outside that you're on a freeze?
Yes, that's it. That's exactly the reason. Not because my wife gave me a look and said, "You do it, you die." That has nothing to do with it. But anyway, so you might be looking to, kind of spend on the low side of money for a quality bourbon, or um, inflation, all the fun economics that are currently going on. Money's a little tight. Trying to find a good quality, inexpensive bourbon. So naturally, when you want semi good quality but low cost, we go Buffalo Trace. So we're going to try Benchmark Foolproof. Now, the Benchmark line really kind of exploded last year, kind of during summertime, is when they released like the Foolproof top of the rack house, bottom of the rack house, left side of the rack house, bottled and bond, a loop de
The
loop
sweepings
with
off the floor of the rack house.
yeah, yeah. They released basically everything because Benchmark was always seen as a low quality brand, so they wanted to spice it up with like single barrels and things like that. So people would be like, "Ooh, I want to buy that." So naturally, we're like, "Meh, we'll try one of these." And so we went with the full proof. Now, to compare that out, this is right around a $30-$40 bottle. We're going to compare it to things that are a little bit more expensive, but readily available, at least for both of us, which is 1792 Full Proof and Smoke Wagon, uncut, unfiltered, because actually these, for me at least, in the last 4 months are everywhere, like always on the shelf. So,
Yeah.
uh, pretty, very,
1792 full proof, maybe a bit more hunting required generally than the smoke wagon. Smoke wagons now are, yeah, seem to be
yeah,
on the
heavy.
shelf for all the time.
Yeah, so two of these very readily available. The third one, I mean, at least for both of us, a little bit harder. But
And
I don't know,
stepping
depending
up a
where
little
you.
bit in price there from the benchmark 1792 full proof, like you can still find that probably for 50 bucks. And then smoke wagon up there around 70, 80 bucks.
Yep. And to be honest, a lot of the 1792s are single barrel picks. So if you luck out, at least for the Louisville area, single barrel picks are not moving very often. Like they're just sitting there. You can find a lot of these things now going on sale, which is even better. So let's see what we think. And is Benchmark worth going after?
Cherry,
Yep. Grain. I get cherry grain.
cherry green. Yeah, a little.
It's
I
it.
mean, just yeah, maybe yeah, it's the grain note or maybe a little bit of the light wood note.
Yeah.
Hmm. It's got a nice texture, a little bit of
Hmm.
creaminess in there, which I appreciate. One of the reasons we like to go to the full proof bourbons gives you some of
Yeah.
that depth.
Oh yeah. And there's definitely some spice. Like it's the 125 proof it says it is.
Yeah, I was just gonna say run us down on proof point here. So
Yeah.
125, 1792.
125, 1792 is 125. And the smoke wagon is, oh gosh, 57.1. So that is
114.2.
114.2. I got that. I got
TJ
that.
struggles to do math sometimes, you know. He's an
Yep.
engineering professor, could do more
Well,
calculus than
yeah. Well, as my,
all of us combined, but
high school professor and teacher always said, you'll never go everywhere with a calculator. Yes, I do.
this is really nice, honestly.
Yep.
Like I get some like I said, I like the texture in the palate, some creaminess, definitely some sweetness, vanilla. It's powerful. Gonna give you some of that baking spice, pepper, black pepper finish.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's just classic bourbon. there's nothing that's going to stand out. There's nothing that's going to wow you. I mean, I guess you're going to be wowed at the fact that this is benchmark and you're like, well, that's actually pretty good. Um, I would say think like Wild Turkey 101 just cranked up is,
Hmm.
with the Buffalo Trace notes to it. I mean, I would have no problem putting that in cocktails and everything like that.
Ooh, that'd be a good cocktail bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Especially
would be
those of us
fun.
that like a more bourbon forward cocktail. So it's like, I don't
Yeah.
want that 90. Don't give me a 90 proof bourbon in my
Yeah.
cocktail or Basil Hayden. Good grief. Can't taste it.
Yeah.
So you're on to the 1792 here.
Yep. And it smells like 1792.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The one weakness to me on the benchmark before we leave those tasting notes was the nose for me. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. You smell this 1792 and you're like, whoa, spice
yeah,
bomb. It's like when you go into your grandmother's bathroom and it's just you get hit by the potpourri bomb.
I,
Like
I,
that's what the difference is. Like I just walked into a normal person's bathroom on the first one, didn't smell anything. Hello,
I,
potpourri bomb.
I don't think this smells like potpourri, but maybe I just
Well,
have
no,
such a negative connotation with potpourri. You're just saying the robustness, the
the
volume.
robustness. That's what I meant.
Okay.
The
Whew.
volume and
I'm
robustness.
like, I'm not getting
Yeah, no, no.
grandma's bathroom on this.
No. I'm just getting like, wow, there's a lot there.
Because I'm getting like oak and
Yes. Spices, cardamom.
do I like cardamom? That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, yeah. It's like that caramel apple pie is baking in the oven and you're just getting whiffs and wafts of the smell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good description. Hmm.
I'm
Palate is
not
more
gonna,
of that apple pie.
yeah. Yeah, it is all apple pie with like some oak on the end, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel like so flavor wise, 1792 on the mouth and the finish way better. But texture wise, I think I like the benchmark creaminess texture better.
Yeah, definitely. The
Mhm.
little bit watery on the
Yeah.
1792. The 1792 is a bit more. I mean, you can definitely still. It's got plenty of flavor in the palate, but that benchmark and some of that's just like unrefined ethanol, but it's like it hits you quick,
Hmm.
powerful. I think
Yeah.
1792 is a bit more subdued. Gonna let you. So the tongue isn't tingling as much. Part of that's that texture, right? It's not
Yeah.
coating the mouth quite as well, not as viscous.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the benchmark is just that like young and raw and like unrefined, like here it is in your face bourbon. And then the full proof, they definitely refined it a little bit, trying to get specific flavors to come out, which is why it's a little more expensive and everything like that. Um, so yeah, it's just more refined. It reminds me of the what is it, the Cheez It commercials with the cheese. First one, not ready yet. Second one, all right, we're mature.
Better than my. I was thinking like benchmarks for the guy that wants to go to the racetrack.
Yeah.
Watch some MMA fights. 1792 is like country club style,
The
sweater
Miller
wearing.
Lite, Cooler Light. I don't know which one is acceptable currently, but the acceptable
Anything but Bud Light. I mean, don't get us
yeah.
started on that.
Yeah, there we go. All right, now to the smoke wagon, which as everybody knows is just really good refined MGP.
MGP. Is there bad MGP?
I bet we can find some if we try really, really hard.
Yeah.
I bet somebody can let us know in the comments this is bad MGP.
Yeah, fair.
It could be a challenge. Can we find an MGP Chuck won't drink?
I mean,
What was the
send me
one?
all the bourbon because I will gladly accept this challenge.
Yeah, I don't know if Lance is watching, but Whiskey Tornado, send him whatever it is, Perry's batch with the quinoa.
Oh,
That was MGP. That was like
oh
hidden
gosh. Okay,
away.
no.
Like we won't release this, but somebody wanted to.
Must be one of their standard 3 grain mash bills or 4 grain. I would, 4 grain with wheat, not quinoa.
Yeah. So the nose on this one's the most disappointing, I would say. Like there's just I don't know, maybe it's because we just had the 1792 and it was so robust, but there's almost nothing.
Yeah, I go back to to the benchmark now, and I mean, still getting more
Yeah.
volume on that. Yeah, a little bit of citrus, like a little bit of lemon peel, a little bit of sweetness, cherry,
Yeah. There's just not much there.
and a little bit of like raw cane sugar. I don't know.
I got rid
TJ.
of that. What the heck?
Oh, that's good.
I'm just gonna leave it. Who cares? Um,
That's fine.
yeah. Yeah, definitely like raw cane sugar, everything like that. I think it's a nice balance between the 1792 and the full proof. So I'm getting more of the creamy mouth feel and everything, but uh some of those more flavorful, refined notes of the 1792.
Yeah, I think it's just like this is honestly drinking. I was expecting more.
Hmm.
It's like a little bit of a sorry, like an Earl Grey tea note along with
Yeah.
that sweetness. Like an overly, you just added too much sugar into your Earl Grey tea.
Yeah, there's a lot of sugar, I will say that. So, I mean, it's good. I'll drink it. Uh,
Yeah, a little bit of
but yeah.
clove, black pepper spice kind of lingers.
Mhm.
I think I need to go back to this benchmark before I had my.
I was just saying, I'm very impressed that
Mm.
it definitely hung just fine with the other two bottles. Um, I would have expected like, oh wow, this is so much further down quality wise than these other two. But like, obviously, I'm not going to go to it and drink it neat all the time. But having it on the shelf and able for cocktails and mixers and things like that, and maybe occasionally drinking it neat, I wouldn't have a problem with that, and especially for the price. So
Honestly, and like go back to the benchmark on the nose. Like it's continuing to open up a bit as it sits in the glass, gives you some
yeah.
more of those sweet notes. That's yeah, at the price point, like this could be, so basement for me is down in the sorry, the bar is in the basement. And so, a lot of times we're making cocktails upstairs. And so you keep just one or two bottles upstairs.
Yeah.
And it's like I normally keep something that would be cocktail, something that I'm going to drink neat. You could keep the benchmark and use it for both.
All right. So last for me is Smoke Wagon. Just
Same.
way too sweet. Like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, not bad. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't mind age or I don't mind high proof MGP.
Right. Yeah. No, nothing wrong with it.
I prefer
Number two.
14 years. If
Yeah.
anybody's like going to send me samples, make sure
Yeah.
it's 14 to 15 years.
Though he would take like 20, 22 somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. That's, sir, 20-year MGP out there. If there is,
I
let me know.
think, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Number
Number
two
two,
is Benchmark Foolproof.
same. Yeah.
Yep. And then number one is the 1792 Foolproof. It's just because the complexity and everything there is so delightful. So,
It's way closer than I thought.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
Honestly, I would have put it like I would have figured Benchmark would have finished third,
yeah.
but it was a marvelous showing. And I even had to like consider between the Benchmark and the 1792. I guess our to sum it up, it's like if you see it and you don't have it on your shelf, you should probably buy it.
Yeah. Or I would also say if you've got somebody that really likes bourbon and you're looking to get them something different that they probably don't have, they would be surprised by and I'm kind of impressed with, you can pick up a benchmark foolproof. I think like your bourbon lover is going to kind of like poo poo it at first, but then they're going to open up and be like, oh, that's actually pretty good. So there you go.
Have you had any of their other the you said top of the rick house, bottom of the rick house?
Over
Okay.
under loop de loo barrel. No, but that
Yeah.
is something that we could absolutely do and do a flight of because it's like $30 a bottle. Like it wouldn't be that
Yeah.
terrible to try. So yeah, there you go. There is a benefit to being a big boy distiller. You can make a quality bourbon a lot cheaper than those craft guys can. And it's kind of
Without
exciting to
grain notes, without
yep.
yeah.
And it's exciting to see that, it's not bad. So, you know, there you go. Next time you're there, maybe pick up a benchmark foolproof and kind of see. But cheers. We'll see you next time.
Stay neat.